in just a little while. One of the things that's very personal to me on this show is the name of the show, Uncanceled, which I think is appropriate because I was kind of sort of canceled in Kansas City, sort of. Well, I'll tell you what, I run into a lot of people that think I was really canceled, but, that's a whole different deal. So I just like the name and I like the way this thing works. And so one of the things that's very important when you do this for a living is you have a great relationship with sponsors that will buy advertising within your show. It means they believe in you. They see the numbers or whatnot. This has gone very well. It's easy following Pete. That certainly helps. I'm riding on the gravy train, but we got a couple of new sponsors we're going to welcome to the show today coming up in our next segment. And it means, I've been doing this a long time. It means more now than ever when people say, yeah, this guy's been around a while. He knows what he's doing. This is good. We want to be on that show. And it also says a lot about who and what they are and what they believe in to be on a show like this one. So we greatly appreciate that. I'll get you that information coming up. You're going to have to wait and find out who they are. One of them is one of them's perfect for my wife and one of them's perfect for me. That's all I can tell you. I'll say this. I can't fix anything, and my wife really wants a she shed. That's it. That's your only clues. That's what we're doing. 10:30 on the show today, Mark Alford, the congressman from Missouri, will join us. We're going to talk about the 2-year anniversary of that awful terror attack in Israel that started all this that we're trying to end right now. We'll talk a little government shutdown there as well. I'm going to do a long conversation on the government shutdown because I don't think anybody that listens to this station really cares that the government is shut down. Maybe Mark Alford will tell us, what's the magic date? If it goes 61 days, the people that are furloughed can be permanently terminated with no recourse. But it would have to go 61 days to do that. I think you get 60 days notice, and on day one of the shutdown, they were basically sent home. So that starts their clock on 60 days notice. How many are we in? Are we in a week? Are we in 7 days? Just about? Yes. We're 7 days in. We got 54 days to go. We'll see. We will talk a little football at the end with Mark because I want to know if he's as disappointed as I am in Chris Jones on that last touchdown that beat the Chiefs. I have no words for it. And I'm not a big believer in blaming referees for anything, but something was weird last night. Something in that game was really weird, folks. I don't care what you're doing. There is no way an NFL game should have 13 penalties on one team and 4 on the other. That seems like an impossibility. I've been covering the sport up close since 1985. Never seen anything like it. And if my count is right, 4 times the Chiefs were flagged, and those were declined because something good happened for the Jaguars on that play. That means 17 plays of this football game, they threw a flag at the Chiefs. Okay, sure, that happened. But I guess the big news for what we talk about here, because I know we're all burned out on this. I've gotten to where I really want to know, and I want it to be final because I'm just really curious about the future of Kansas City. I love this community. I love this city, and I love sports. I owe everything I've done professionally to the sports teams in this area and being able to cover them for an entire career. So I've got a lot invested in this. It's personal as well. And I want to know what the Royals and Chiefs are doing, but I don't know what the Royals and Chiefs are doing. I will tell you this. There's just a growing number of people that no longer care what they decide. They just want them to decide. And I don't think that was ever their game. I think they wanted to try to have a splash here and do something with some pop and some sizzle that the whole city would rally around. And right now, it just seems like it's going to be, okay, they decided. We'll see. So yesterday on Pete's show, he broke the news that the Royals are spending money in Clay County, doing all their due diligence for a possible ballpark there. We know about that location. We know about 119th and Null. We do not think Washington Square Park is much of a possibility anymore. We think Jackson County is out. We think the Chiefs want to do a vote in Jackson County maybe in the spring to see whether it passes or not. So their decision could be well beyond that. I don't think the Chiefs will come forward and say, we're staying at Arrowhead if this passes. I'm just guessing they're going to leave their options open, and they continue to leave them open. And it was interesting yesterday because in July, when they were dancing with Kansas, extending the deadline, remember the June 30th deadline? They did a little dance with Kansas. Then they released a whole bunch of plans. You can see them online for a $3 billion stadium at the Legends. That's still in play. So we know that. They've been open about it. There's websites about it. You can see the renderings. It looks really cool. To be honest, it looks great. It includes a training facility and mixed use and shops and all kinds of cool stuff. They can build it exactly like they want for $3 billion. We know that's on the table. Well, yesterday in Jacksonville, this is the only team, and I don't know what it says. You think what you want about the Jacksonville Jaguars, okay? That dumpy piece of garbage they play in, because it's bad. I went to the Super Bowl there many years ago. We went to Radio Row, and the entire thing turned into a complaint fest, I won't use the other word, about how bad the facilities are and everything around Jacksonville as a football town. It's not really what they're suited for. They're a beach community. They got golf courses. There's a lot of history there. The St. Johns River is really cool. There's all kinds of neat stuff in Jacksonville. Professional football isn't one of them. They like the Florida Gators there a lot more than they like the Jaguars. It's not close. They will die to watch an SEC game, but the Jaguars have just kind of been an afterthought. This owner wanted to move to London, if you guys remember. They wanted to move this team from Jacksonville to London. So they're never going to put big money into anything. They're going to put Band-Aids on things. And they're doing, right now, Jacksonville, you can't make this up. They're on their third renovation of that dump. This is turning into Tampa's baseball stadium, is what's going on in Jacksonville. It's a laughingstock. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. You renovate something 3 times, and now you're looking at it going, yeah, that's probably not a good decision every single time. But the Chiefs thought, hey, Radio Boy's been on saying nobody in the NFL renovates anymore. Let's bring up an Arrowhead renovation with the media here in Jacksonville because Jacksonville's putting Band-Aids on their stadium. And so Mark Donovan trotted it out, and here's how the report goes. 2 minor updates on the stadium front. This is per Jesse Newell. Chiefs team president Mark Donovan says the team came out of a recent meeting with architectural firm Populous, which has upgraded its design for a proposed well, you can't downgrade it. The first one looked like a 7th grader drew it up. Proposed renovated Arrowhead in Missouri based on feedback the team received from surveys from the fans. The Chiefs just peed money away paying for a fan survey. I could have told them exactly what it would say. They're going to ask the same people that wanted to renovate Kemper instead of build Sprint Center, the same people 15 years ago that wanted to renovate Kaufman instead of build downtown, and the same people that just wanted to fix 3 stinking terminals at KCI instead of building a new one. I mean, if this is a game show, you just got buzzed 3 times because the fans, the people, the poll, the survey, they're always wrong. Kansas City's weird like this. There's something good about it, okay? Maybe it shows that we don't like to overspend or be flashy or we don't want to be LA or Las Vegas or New York or whatever. Maybe that's reflective of the people of this area, and maybe there's a really good compliment in there, but not when it comes to this. And so the Chiefs give their plans for what they're going to do. And what's the first thing they list for what they're going to do with the renovation? A new activation zone. This is a turf-covered area with tailgate spaces and entertainment options created over the current site of Kauffman Stadium. The number one thing they list, they can't start on for 5 years. The Royals have to finish playing there. They have to demolish it. And then they can start to build their activation zone. They're going to take the upper concourse 50 years ago when they built the stadium. Do you know what they did? They didn't connect the upper concourses around the end of the stadium. They're going to make little bridges in the back. So now if you want to circle the entire stadium in the upper level, you can just get your steps in and circle, circle, circle all day. This is what they're spending the money on. Weather protection, a canopy up top for the fans. Enhanced entry points. I don't even know what this is. New VIP entry points, reduce congestion at general admission gates. And, my favorite, upgraded technology. That is new video boards, new audio sound system, and Wi-Fi in the stadium. That's it. That's your $800 million renovation that Clark Hunt has said will likely be over $1 billion and could be more if they want to wind up, doing whatever and putting shops in and other stuff like that. It could be $2 billion. So they trot this out yesterday for $800 million, and the math's pretty simple. The team, the state, and the county, if it passes, would pay 63%. The team would pay 37%. That's how this works. They need $104 million from Jackson County to make that dream come true of those bridges connecting the concourses upstairs. God, I've been waiting for that for 60 years. Please connect those upper concourses for me. Tax the people for those bridges. Yes. Let's have a sales tax to connect the upper decks. Oh my. $800 million, and you know it will be more than that. So that's the plan for the renovated stadium. And that's it, folks. That's what you're getting for $800 million. $800 million doesn't buy what it used to. The new stadium, they say, is $3 billion. It'll probably wind up being $4 billion, but that's the same cost as the Washington Commanders. They're building a new one they say is going to be $3 billion. The Washington Commanders are going to have to put in $2.2 billion of the $3 billion to build their own stadium. That's their money. The Chiefs, to build a new stadium, will have to put $900 million in towards $3 billion. That is $1.3 billion less than the Washington Commanders to get the exact same stadium. I can't repeat this loud enough. If Clark Hunt doesn't build a new stadium, he's giving away $1.3 billion that the Commanders aren't getting when they build their new stadium. I don't even understand the discussion. Now, again, if it's about his dad, if it's about history, if it's about whatever, fine. If they want to sit here and say fan surveys, they didn't need to take fan surveys. The fans are all going to say Arrowhead. Arrowhead, Arrowhead, Arrowhead. I don't get any calls on this show or emails from people complaining about the new airport. It's been 20 years since anybody complained to me that we were building a new arena. You just don't hear it. I appreciate what they've repurposed Kemper to be, but I mean, I literally had people calling in on the radio saying, let's just renovate Kemper again. We don't need a new arena downtown. Nobody goes downtown. Well, yeah, you built an arena. All of a sudden, a lot of people went downtown. You build a ballpark north of the river, and a whole lot of people are going to be going north of the river, across from downtown. There's a lot of possibilities in this town that we just don't think of. We just like to see what we have and say, fix it. Do something with it. We like it. It's familiar. Oh, and we love the parking. Yes, of course. So I don't know, man. An $800 million renovation. Again, you get a new activation zone, an upper concourse improvement, weather protection, enhanced entry points, and upgraded technology in the stadium. That's your $800 million. That doesn't even sound renovated. That just sounds like me at my house. Hey, let's put a ceiling fan in the bedroom. You know, and I go to Westlake Ace and buy a ceiling fan and install it and put it in there and get it done. Oh, let's get a new TV to watch the Chiefs game. Okay, and you go out and buy a new TV and you put it in your house. That's what this sounds like. Chiefs are going shopping. They're going shopping just for baubles to put in the stadium. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't see it, and I don't believe it. If it happens, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a mistake. If that happens, that's what the Chiefs do. They're making a mistake. And they'll know they're making a mistake, but they're just going to do it because maybe the survey was it's so unpopular they'll never do this. That nobody ever wants to get rid of Arrowhead. Maybe that's it. Maybe it was overwhelming from the fans, and they're going to listen. 913-408-7957, our number to call. 913-408-7957. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. We are brought to you today by our friends at bestofferkc.com. The most recent story we heard from Best Offer is a lady named Beth and her sister, and they had quite a story to tell. Their dad was ill. He was seriously ill. His final wish was the kids could sell the house and receive the money before he passed. He wanted to see peace and civility, and they each get their check and go on with their lives. Well, the team met with Beth from Best Offer, and they worked everything out. When the dad got really sick, they called and said, we probably only got about 24 to 36 hours to live. They made it happen. They closed the deal. They got him their checks, and he died a happy man. I know that's a tragic story, but everybody's got a different story when a house has to sell quickly. And bestofferkc.com is there for you if you need to sell it fast. 816-338-SOLD. That's 338-SOLD for bestofferkc.com, helping you leave the hassle behind.
From Smithville to Shawnee Mission, it's Kevin Kietzman. Uncanceled on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Oh, you never forget your first time that you hear Tom Petty. That's the first song I can remember of his. Good stuff right there. Welcome back to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. Why is the Jack Smith story not bigger? That in a moment. I want to take a moment here and welcome a couple of great sponsors for joining the team at Uncanceled and trusting me to spread the word about their great companies that in many cases have generations of a reputation that's fantastic, hoping that I can share that with you over the next few months. The first is Gingrich Structures, and this is a really interesting company that's located all throughout the Midwest, but I've spoken with Dan Schaefer, who works right here in the Kansas City area, and he's the person you will call if you're interested in any of these. There's part of the big, beautiful bill that's out there that gives a $2.5 million credit to farmers if you build a new structure. That's if you want to build a barn or any type of structure, a machine shed, something of that nature for your farm. You can deduct the full cost of any new structure up to $2.5 million under the big, beautiful bill. If you want more information for folks in rural areas or farmers, call Dan Schaefer at gingrichstructures.com, 816-673-5236. Now, this is the one I teased and said my wife would like this. They can do she sheds. They do hobby shops. They do garages. They do commercial buildings. They do all types of different structures. They're your post-frame construction experts. It's what they do. It's Gingrich. It sounds like Newt Gingrich, but it's not spelled the same way. It's Ginger, I-C-H. Ginger, I-C-H, structures.com. Gingrichstructures.com. If you want to check them out, and Dan can help you anywhere in Kansas or Missouri, Nebraska, Iowa, they're all over the Midwest. Doesn't matter where you live. They specialize in very rural, small places in the agriculture and farm community, but they're finding a lot of people in Kansas City want to move out away from the city a little bit and buy an acre or two of land, and they build barn dominiums. This company does barn dominiums, was the hottest trends in real estate. They build barn dominiums as well. So there's a lot of different things that may apply to who and what you are and what you're thinking of building. Just go to the website and check them out, gingrichstructures.com. It's spelled G-I-N-G-E-R-I-C-H, gingrichstructures.com. Appreciate them for jumping on board. That's really nice. I have heard their name before, knew a little bit about their company before this, but not much. I'm learning more from Dan every single day. The other is specifically designed for me because I'm terrible around the house. The first thing I'm doing is getting the Easy Smart Tool System to get the cobweb. I'm just going to call it the cobweb sucker. That's just what I'm going to call it. They call it the cobweb duster, but we know what this is. It's a little power tool that goes on of an Easy Smart Tools are extendable. You don't climb on a ladder. When you get to a certain age, you don't want to be climbing on ladders, maybe ever be up on a ladder. So if you want to get in your gutters, you attach a mirror at the end to see what's in your gutter, or they have little mini rakes to clean gutters out and do projects with. These Easy Smart Tools extend out to like 12 feet, and my garage always in the corner this time of year gets cobwebs. And I hate that in my garage. I just hate it. I don't want to climb up on a ladder. It's a nasty job, the whole thing. This is the way to do it. I'm going to get the power cobweb duster with Easy Smart Tools. They're online at easysmarttools.com, and it's easy. It's the letters EZ. easysmarttools.com. They're available at Westlake Ace Hardware if you want to check them out. They have the ultimate light bulb changer kit, inspection mirrors, fruit pickers, handy hooks, mini rakes. It's a whole system of things that extend and keep you on the ground safely instead of climbing up on a ladder. Easy Smart Tools. You're going to work smarter, not harder, and I am very intrigued. I will get back to you after I get the cobweb duster. Mark, do you get cobwebs in your garage?
Oh, yeah.
I hate those. Mm-hmm. They're always wet in the corner.
Yep.
I'm in on this. That sounds perfect. They're available at Westlake Ace. If you want to buzz out today and check them out, or go to their website, easysmarttools.com.
I have a nice vaulted ceiling where we get them, too, so I need to get one for myself.
Perfect. This is the time of year on that for sure. All right, I can't figure out why the Jack Smith thing isn't a bigger deal. This is the special counsel that went after Donald Trump. Trump's MAGA movement is now calling for former special counsel Jack Smith to be arrested after Republican-led Senate Judiciary Committee published documents indicating the FBI targeted the cell phones of 8 GOP senators as part of Arctic Frost, an investigation. Arctic Frost formed the basis of Smith's special counsel investigation into Trump, which in turn led to criminal charges of Trump that were dropped, because of course they were dropped. This is just a really big deal. They trumped something up, fake, They tapped phone lines. They spied on members of Congress, more specifically GOP members of the Senate. They turned it over to Jack Smith and said, we need a special counsel. Go get Trump and arrest him. This is from a liberal outlet. I just read it to you. That was a very fair lead from Newsweek. Newsweek says they have reached out to Joe Biden and his team for comment. They have contacted the FBI under President Biden for comment. They have contacted the Biden Presidential Library for comment. They have contacted the Department of Justice and legal firm Covington and Burling, which did pro bono legal work for Biden, and they've gotten no response back from any of them. They reached out to 5 different entities with the Biden administration, said, okay, what about this story? They can't even get a phone call back on this story. It almost sounds like they're afraid to make a phone call indicating that they're working on this story because, they're afraid maybe somebody's looking at their phone calls. It's a big deal. It's probably going to get bigger. I hope it does. I'd like to see something happen. I never liked that Jack Smith guy. When we come back, Mark Alford joins us. We've got a lot to talk about with the shutdown and maybe this next on Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio.
From Lawrence to Leavenworth, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Always great to check in with our good friend, Congressman Mark Alford from the great state of Missouri. He joins us now to talk about all of the news that's going on in D.C. Congressman, how are you today?
I'm good. On day 7, America held hostage. The Schumer shutdown. The saga continues.
So what are you doing, my friend? What is there to do?
I'm in the backseat of our expedition right now with our district director, Becky Johnson, and the deputy district director, Jake Ayers, and we are headed to South Cache County. We're visiting some businesses. We have more rural hospital visits planned this week. We are trying to hit all 18 rural hospitals in our district during this in-district work period while the Democrats are doing performances up on Capitol Hill singing their same old song. We are actually out working for the people of the 4th Congressional District.
Okay, so that moves on. That's funded, I guess. You're not paying for your own gasoline driving around. There's some sort of budget for that sort of thing. So that's ongoing, and you're doing the people's work. I respect the heck out of that. You're bouncing around Missouri, seeing your constituents. That's pretty cool. But where does this thing go, and do we care? I haven't noticed there's a government shutdown.
Yeah, not a whole lot of people care. Now that the Office of Management and Budget put out, they didn't put it out, but it was leaked somehow that federal workers who may be furloughed may not get back pay. I got a text today from a federal worker. You know, we have about 30,000 in the Kansas City area, and they're worried, is this true? And I said, hey, the best way for it not to be true is for Chuck Schumer to open the government, mess around and find out. I think Trump is holding some cards that he is not willing to play just yet, he and Russ Vogt, but could play if they want to further shrink the size of the federal government. But let's open the government and let's get back to the business of our appropriations. We have 12 appropriation bills passed out of committee, 9 yet to be passed on the House floor, and we have 23 legislative days to get that done before November 21st if we can get back to Washington and do that. We cannot do that unless the government is open.
Okay, so you know me as a simple guy. I ask simple questions. So this is the kind of question my mom would ask me, and I wouldn't be able to answer it. It's so simple I wouldn't be able to answer it. So I'm just going to ask you, if we have 740,000 employees that aren't working and we don't notice, and if we go 60 days, that can be permanent. Why do we need them? How much should we cut the government workforce by? You have a number in mind that you would, if you were king for a day, you'd just cut the government workforce? How many people are we talking about?
Well, look, that's why some employees are deemed essential and some are deemed non-essential. Those deemed non-essential are basically those who don't have anything to do with protecting life or property in the federal government.
Right.
But look,
didn't our founding fathers build this country based on, we don't want our government ever to be big enough that we want non-essential people?
Yeah. Look, under President Biden, approximately 1.5 million new government jobs were added to the full-time, non-seasonal federal workforce. That is a growth of nearly 6%, okay? That is, we are way top-heavy when it comes to federal government workforce. And I think a lot of people know that, but they just don't want to deal with it. And this could be a way, if this continues, that we deal with it. And, when you consider the base average federal employee salary of right under $100,000, that's about an increase of $148.5 billion increase annually under Joe Biden. If we're going to trim our budget, we've got to make cuts in all areas. That's what we've done in the appropriations process, except for defense spending, except for military construction, and homeland security. We took serious haircuts in all of these departments. And it's time, with $37 trillion in debt, that we get serious about reducing our deficit. The sad part is, I've told you this before, 75% of our spending is mandatory spending, Social Security and Medicare, and no one wants to touch that or reform it. And so only about 24% of it is discretionary spending. That's what we have to work with.
I read a story. I don't know if this is true or not, but it was one of Trump's people that said if the 740,000 people that were furloughed, basically it takes 60 days before that could become permanent. They're basically put on notice here. If it went 61 days, you could eliminate every position. And between that and tariffs, we just balanced the budget. That's it. Those two things balances the budget. Now, it doesn't fix the deficit, but it balances the budget.
No.
Can you imagine what would happen to our economy and our country if we balanced the budget?
We should be balancing the budget each and every year. It's gotten way out of hand. Of course, the interest rates that were really happened under Joe Biden and the influx of trillions of dollars into the economy that really wasn't needed under the Inflation Reduction Act, more than $2 trillion, that caused people to go out and spend a lot of money, but that also caused interest rates to go up. And now we're paying more on the interest on our debt, and that is certainly not helping. So part one of the issue is getting these interest rates down. Part two is us controlling our spending, which we're doing in the appropriations process. But again, Kevin, we can't continue the appropriations process. We are still living under 2024 budget numbers, the Joe Biden budget numbers that we've been kicking down the road for 2 years now under continuing resolutions. And we've got to make these cuts, but we can't do that with Chuck Schumer holding us hostage.
All right, let's switch topics here. It's been 2 years since that brutal terrorist attack in Israel that took so many lives, and the conflict still isn't settled, but I guess it feels or seems like it's close. They're talking like this thing may be coming to an end. Can you update us on, is the violence and basically a war going on, is this thing about to end?
I certainly hope so. Leslie and I had the honor of going over there in April of last year to see the kibbutz where so many people were burned alive and all horrible sorts of things, unhuman. These Hamas terrorists, they're not human. They are, it's just horrible what they did to the people of Israel. And we can't ever forget that. And this could have all been over on October 8th had they just released the hostages and surrendered. And yet Israel has had to go in, rightfully so, to try to obliterate, annihilate Hamas because they're going to reconstitute if we do not. And now they're playing games with President Trump. President Trump came out with a 20-point plan and gave him until Sunday to agree to it. And they're stringing that out now, saying they want to negotiate on certain points. At some point, you've got to say there is no negotiations. It is time to be done with this. And Israel needs to finish the job.
Okay, I saw a video last night in Portland of a man who was wearing a ball cap, and he had somebody with the federal government was in front of him. You can't really tell always which agency. Their grievance is ICE, but it's near an FBI building and things of that nature. So we saw the guardsman or whoever it was, maybe just a police officer, and he had his basically riot gear on, and this man was just berating this officer 6 inches from his face for like a minute and a half, calling him the worst names you could possibly ever call anyone. And these officers that go to work every day just have to sit there and take it from these people and ignore everything that they say to them, which is just astounding to me. And then this idiot spit at him. And the second he did, down to the ground they went. 5 dudes jumped on top of him. That guy fooled around and found out, which I love. I like what Trump's doing here with these people. I think this is insanity, what's going on near our federal agencies, and courts are challenging this. I can't believe that the president of the United States doesn't have a right to defend, a duty to defend any federal facility in any state in America against what these people are doing to him.
Well, I certainly think he does. This is anarchy. It's funded by outside sources who want to cripple America, if not destroy America. I think it is insurrection. I think the president of the United States, under his Article 2 authority as the chief executive, has every right to defend federal assets and federal law enforcement. And that's what he is now doing, going into these cities to clean up the mess that these progressive law enforcement agencies and weak prosecutors, also funded by the likes of George Soros, have done to America. They have turned it into a wasteland of crime, destitution, and poverty in many cases. And now we are having to go back in. The Trump administration is, and I think with the majority support of most Republicans and conservatives, to try to turn these cities around in the proper way, the constitutional manner of protecting federal law enforcement and federal assets and buildings.
I saw a thing that came out yesterday. It said in California over the last couple months or whatever, between Republicans and then others, independents, there's been like 130,000 new registrations in California for those two parties, and 128 people have signed up to become a Democrat. It's just off the charts. When you put one political party in charge of shutting down the government, in charge of defending thugs, getting on buildings with rifles and shooting at ICE facilities or throwing Molotov cocktails at things, and that's your party's platform as we're defending these people and open borders, man, I've never seen a political party commit suicide like this. They're just absolutely crushing their own party. It's glorious to watch, but it's also terrible because bad things are happening on the ground. I hate this.
Well, Kevin, we've seen this coming. The Democrats, since last November, since they lost the election, it's very clear they have no vision, no message, no leader. They were for open borders to bring in as many illegal aliens under Joe Biden as humanly possible, to maybe turn them into voters, but quite surely to make sure that they counted in the next census so they would affect the apportionment of representatives in the U.S. House of Representatives to help them regain the majority. America knows their scheme. And now the President Trump ran on security, securing our borders, securing our economy, securing our place on the world stage. He has secured the border. It is 95 to 99% secure now. Joe Biden said it couldn't be done. There was no problem. There was a problem. Trump got it done. And now we are deporting the illegal aliens. And the left cannot stand it. They want to stand behind the illegal alien, keep them here to make them part of the electoral process. That is wrong. They are putting a strain on the fabric of America. Go back to your home country and come back the right way.
All right, let's finish with a softball on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock in Columbia. The Missouri Tigers, Alabama Crimson Tide. Biggest Mizzou game I can remember in a long time. The entire country is going to be watching. How about old Mizzou at 5-0, man? How good is this?
I tell you what, it's exciting to watch them play. I was at one of the games a couple of weeks ago, when they played KU. What a great game that was. It's exciting that they have this. I predict they'll keep it going. I will not be there. We will be working in the district, even on the weekends, until we get this government back open. But I wish them well.
Awesome stuff. Mark, thank you for your time as always. I really appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate you. And Mark Alford's Capital Recap coming up this weekend on this very station on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be talking with the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
Cool.
You'll hear from him on the Schumer shutdown, where we go from here, and what are our options to reopen the government. I'll give you a hint. We are not negotiating. This is all on the Democrats. It is a Democrat Schumer shutdown. America held hostage, day 7. Stay tuned.
Awesome, man. Thank you. We'll be tuned in. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. There's Mark Alford, Missouri Congressman. It's always great to have him on the show talking about things that are important to the folks in Missouri and that are happening in Washington, D.C. Uncanceled today is brought to you by Easy Smart Tools. See the entire line of Easy Smart Tools in store at your local Westlake Ace hardware store. The Easy Smart extension pole tool system is perfect for people like you and I that don't want to climb up on a ladder. They've got a mini rake to help you clean out your gutters. They've got the handy hook to hang plants, tree lights, any job up high out of reach. A fruit picker, stop climbing and start picking. Get those apples down this fall. Inspection mirror to check out what's in your gutter. The ultimate light bulb changer kit is perfect for going way up high in the ceiling and changing light bulbs. And how about the power cobweb duster? You know I'm in on that. I'm going to clean out my garage corners with that for sure. Log on to EasySmartTools.com. That's easy, just the letters, EasySmartTools.com, or visit Westlake Ace Hardware for the Easy Smart tool pole system.
From Gladstone to Gardner, it's Kevin Kietzman, Uncanceled, on 95.7 FM KCMO Talk Radio.
Our show is brought to you by our friends at GingrichStructures.com. That's Ginger, I-C-H, Structures.com, your post-frame construction experts. Farmers, there's a $2.5 million full cost deduction for new agricultural buildings. Gingrich Structures is the best place anywhere in the Midwest to contact and find out what's perfect for your farm. Not just for farmers, though. A lot of folks are doing all kinds of different things. Hobby shops, garages, commercial buildings, and barn dominiums, very popular. For more information, contact Dan at GingrichStructures.com, 816-673-5236. It's Dan Schaefer anywhere in Kansas or Missouri, Iowa, or Nebraska. GingrichStructures.com. That's Ginger, I-C-H, Structures.com. Mark Van Sickle, please explain to me what Chris Jones was doing on that Trevor Lawrence touchdown that beat the Chiefs last night with 23 seconds left.
Looked like he was having tea time with maybe one of his teammates over there, or one of the offensive linemen. Who knows?
So he did think the play was over. He saw the quarterback go down and just assumed that one of the Chiefs players got a hand on him and knocked him to the ground, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But there was no whistle.
Yeah, I think he tripped over his own offensive lineman.
Right. The fundamental rule of playing football is you play to the whistle. I still don't understand how, if you're a football player, that whistle is just not something that's so important on every single snap that it becomes second nature, and you would just go and go and go until you hear it. So I appreciate the fact of what he clearly did something and thought the play was over because he's not a quitter.
Yeah.
This is a Hall of Fame player.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a quitter, and he just literally quit on the play, didn't he?
Yep.
That was really sad. And so he's done what today?
Looks like he's deleted all of his social media accounts. People have been trying to get a hold of him. Probably not nice stuff, but he's deleted it. So, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Not good. I thought the Chiefs played with passion and fire last night.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they played like they wanted it more than Jacksonville. And I said on my podcast earlier today, I came away feeling better about the Chiefs than I did going in.
Yeah.
Because that offense looked like about 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I can't give them a lot of credit for what they did against the Ravens. I can give them a lot of credit for last night. They got a bunch of guys that can make plays, and they were making them.
Yeah, it was a really good offensive effort. And mostly the defense was pretty good, too, until that last drive.
If your grievance in losing a football game is your 3-time Super Bowl MVP champion threw a pick six, which every quarterback in history has done, and that's the reason you lost, I can live with the rest.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are the better football team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't say that every week. I watched the game. Jacksonville, they don't even know how much time is on the play clock. Like it was kind of painful.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching a game where the Chiefs were called for 13 penalties and flagged 17 times. And I've never heard of anything like that. And the Chiefs maybe were playing physical defense. Maybe they were grabbing. Maybe they were doing things. But never a disparity like that in a game. And I am not a guy that complains about officiating. Okay, the Chiefs still should have won the game. The Chiefs blew it. They still should have won the game. But it felt all night to me like they were pushing Jacksonville as, here's this new team that's going to be good and they're great. And if you can beat the Chiefs, we really got something going. Did it not feel like all night long that everybody was just kind of like the whole thing was scripted against the Chiefs?
A little bit. And there was still calls where they thought that you hear Troy and Buck, they were just in there talking about, it should have been a pass interference there. They're saying there should have been more flags on the Chiefs. It's like, no, I don't think so, guys.
It felt forced, didn't it?
Yeah.
It didn't feel real. And I just thought the Chiefs made as many great plays in this game as they made crappy ones. But you got to eliminate the crappy ones and keep making the great ones if you want to get where you're going. But they're only a game out of first place. I thought the Chargers were going to run away and hide. Mm-hmm. And they've laid 2 eggs in a row. They clearly have some fundamental problems on offense because they haven't done squat the last 2 weeks. It's all up for grabs. I was happy with 3-3 after 6 games, get Rashee Rice back and go play the rest of the season.
Yep.
Now, that means they got to beat the Lions Sunday night. But
That's tough.
Sunday night football, you got to go do it.
Yep.
I mean, if they play with that intensity and the offense looks like that, they're going to win this game.
And I think they can go 5-1 in the division. That would be winning out against the division. That's going to be tough. Maybe a loss at Denver, but 5-1 against the division would win the division.
Well, they can, yes. Can's the optimal word. They can run the table. We've seen them win that many in a row, right?
That's true.
They've won 11 or 13 in a row before, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can do that. They just probably won't. It's a new era. These teams in the division are better. But I don't dislike their chances of making the playoffs right now all that bad. For a team that's 2-3, Okay, do you want to play the Chiefs? I don't think so. If you were watching them last night, I don't know anybody wants to play the Chiefs. I wouldn't want to play them. I thought Mahomes looked great. He said after the game, we've already lost too many games. They were asking how many could you lose? We've already lost too many plays. Jimmy Kimmel's lost 85% of his audience. Again. You remember he had that comeback show and all those people watched?
Oh, yeah.
That's been what, 10 days ago?
Yeah, that was the peak.
85% of them have left because, of course, they have. And how about Taylor Swift? She said Travis Kelce is the favorite person I've ever met. And when you played that clip with Pete a little over an hour ago about the song, is it just called Wood?
Yeah, Wood, W-O-O-D.
It's Wood. She said, I'm writing this song about knock on wood. That was the theme of the song.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, we got in there and we started riffing, and I don't know what happened, and my mind just went in the gutter, and all kinds of things happened on this song. And you know what? That's the first time I've ever seen Taylor Swift anything that I thought was real.
Yeah.
Normally, I think through the years she's been kind of fake. And when I saw that, I'm like, that's a real lady right there.
Mm-hmm.
A real woman. I shouldn't say lady in context of the song she's written.
True.
We said that on this show many, many months ago. There's a reason she loves Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Now we know.
Not some soy boy little singer man, 5'6", 128. No.
He's a redwood tree.
It's Travis. That's a dirty song, man. That's a really dirty song. The Vince Show is a clean show. It's coming up next on KCMO.